The core four of networking. Better view. Networking is an essential skill in both business and personal development. In the core four of networking segment, I break down the key practices for building strong, lasting relationships. Do you know about the core four of networking? They're right on your screen. Can you tell me what they are? If I approach you at a networking event and I ask you, hey, you know what the core four of networking are? How many can you name? 1, 2, 3, none? We'll find out. Here's a short clip that'll get you up to speed on the core four of networking, in case I pull your side. Here you go. What's up? I'm here with Al to give you guys another networking tip. We've given you 3 so far, and today we're going to give you a 4th. But before we do, let's recap. What's the first thing they got to do, Al?
Show up.
You got to be present and accounted for. What's the second thing?
Be yourself.
You be you, your authentic self, because nobody likes fake people. Not a good look. What's number 3?
Pay attention.
You got to do some active listening. You got to know what's going on. You don't want to stare into somebody's eyes and nod your head thinking about what you got to say next. Pay attention. And now that the recap's done, I think the 4th one's the most important. What do you think, Al?
Oh, yeah. There's no point in doing all 3 if you don't do the 4th.
That's right. So why is the 4th so important now?
Because the fortune's in the FU.
What do you mean?
Fortune's in the follow-up.
Ah, that's right. Follow up. Don't have a conversation with somebody, take their business card, and then do nothing. Follow up. Speaking of following up, if you guys would like to hear more networking tips from Al and myself, comment more or yes, please underneath this video. And Al, what are we going to do after they make that comment?
Follow up.
Haha, that's right. See you guys later. All right. So I'll be breaking down the core 4 of networking 1 week at a time. Week 1, show up. Why simply being present can open doors to success. Week 2, be yourself. Authenticity is the key to forming genuine connections. Week 3, pay attention. The importance of active listening and being fully engaged with others. And week 4, follow up. How to maintain and grow relationships beyond the first meeting. Which of these 4 steps, showing up, being yourself, paying attention, or following up, do you think has had the biggest impact on your success for networking? And which one do you need help with? Which one do you want to work on the most? Do you even network? I hope you do. Help me help you. Please share your answers in the comments. In addition to exploring the core 4 of networking, which you guys should know by now, right? I'm going to take that off the screen. This segment will also showcase local members of the networking organizations that I am affiliated with, as well as other businesses and professionals in my network. I'll also provide insights on local networking events that I attend. This Monday happens to be week 3. So today's topic is pay attention, the importance of active listening and being fully engaged with others. Today, we're diving into one of the biggest game changers in networking. Pay attention. Because let's be real. If you're just waiting for your turn to talk, you're not networking. You're just monologuing. No one likes that. Let's talk about how to be fully engaged, truly listen, and make connections that actually matter, because that's what we're here for, right? So why don't we listen like you mean it? Listen like you mean it. Most people listen to reply, not to understand. When you truly listen, you hear opportunities others miss. Leave a comment if you've ever been in a conversation where you could tell the other person really wasn't listening. Leave your comment. I'm going to give you an example. So I once met a business coach at an event. Okay. Instead of jumping in with my own experience, I let them fully explain their challenges and what they're going through. Because I actually listened, I was able to connect them with someone who needed their exact services. So that turned into a major deal for them just because I listened. It pays to pay attention. So I'm gonna give you an action step. The next time someone is talking, try the 3-second rule. Wait 3 seconds after they finish before responding. This forces you to fully absorb their words instead of just preparing your reply. The 3-second rule. All right, let's talk about something else. How about read between the words? Read between the words. Body language, right? Body language and tone often say more than words. If you're paying attention, you'll pick up on what someone really means, not just what they say. You know what I mean? So what's a nonverbal cue that tells you someone is engaged in conversation? Let me know in the comments, even if you're watching the replay. So I'm going to give you an example, explain what I mean. You know, I was at a networking breakfast, okay, where a guy said, no names, a guy said he was doing fine, right? Doing fine, but his tone was off and he barely made eye contact. Instead of taking his words at face value, I asked a few deeper questions. You know, it turns out he was struggling with marketing. And I was able to introduce him to someone who helped turn things around for him just from listening. You know, I'm gonna give you action step. Start mirroring. Subtly, they just match their energy, tone, or body language to build an instant rapport. This builds trust on a subconscious level. So try that mirroring. See how it goes. Let me know. Another thing I wanted to talk about as far as paying attention is concerned, ask smart follow-up questions. Ask smart follow-up questions. You know, good listeners ask great follow-up questions. It shows you're engaged and keeps the conversation flowing. You know, think about the best conversation you've had while networking. What stood out? What made it stand out? Drop in the comments. Let me know. All right. And let me give you a real example of what I'm talking about. So a real estate investor once mentioned in passing that he was, you know, exploring new opportunities. You know, who hasn't heard that before? But instead of just moving on, I asked, you know, tell me more about, you know, what you're looking for. You know, that one question led to a conversation about off-market deals, the best deals. And a few months later, I helped connect him with a deal that made us both a bunch of money. You know, try this action step. Use the tell me more technique. It works for me. Use the tell me more technique. What I mean by that is when someone shares something interesting, respond with, you know, that's fascinating. Tell me more about that. This keeps the focus on them and deepens the connection. Networking isn't about collecting business cards. It's about collecting real connections. There's a difference there, right? And that starts with paying attention. When you listen, you learn. When you engage, you connect. And when you connect, opportunities open up. If today's networking success tips helped as far as paying attention, please drop a comment. Next Monday is week 4. So the topic will be follow-up, how to maintain and grow relationships beyond the first meeting, you know, after you pay attention. Interested in being a guest on the show? Reach out. I'd love to have you. Seriously, reach out. And if you catch me at a networking event, don't hesitate to pull me aside and let's make some on-camera magic happen. I'm going to ask you, do you know what the core 4 of networking are? You got to at least know 2.